I'm so bad at saving, too broke for rental. This cost of living is driving me mental. Wanna move out, get away from parentals. Don't forget to invest, I'm feeling stressed. Cause what if I can't retire? I'll probably just expire. Can someone give me an answer? And keep it simple, keep it simple, keep it simple. In this episode, we're going to talk about how our special guest, Johnathan Chua from GRVTY Media, behind Real Talk and Millennials of Singapore, got into credit card debt, as well as the universal Paiseh feeling we get when we try to talk about money. We're going to touch on the following.
Why is it so dang hard to say no to your friends when they suggest eating at an expensive restaurant? And how do we say no? Stay tuned for our signature catchphrase that will solve all your problems.
How credit card debt can set you back from realizing financial life goals, like paying for your super expensive wedding and that fancy house renovation.
He's also going to answer audience questions at the end of this episode, so stay tuned to see if he answers yours.
Hi, Pris.
Hey, so,
What are your plans for this week?
you know what? I was supposed to go out with my friend on Tuesday, which is tomorrow, and then actually it's her birthday, so it means I have to treat her. But then, my finances not feeling so good lah. It's a bit under the weather, so I was like, okay, can we postpone this? Yeah, but no choice. I eventually we'll go out and celebrate ma.
You sound very stressed about this, by the way.
Super paiseh, right?
Why? Because you don't have enough.
Yeah, but at the same time, I really want to celebrate her birthday. So
Right.
yeah.
Hey, then later your friend listen to this episode, then she knows what's up already.
I mean, she knows she knows that I paiseh.
Right.
And then we are quite open with each other. So, but still
Okay.
paiseh. But I want to still treat her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So should I postpone it until I get my pay, or
I mean, it's her birthday. How do you
I'm
postpone?
sorry.
How do you postpone someone else's birthday?
Yeah, that's true. It's
Right.
kind of a dilemma, a very dire dilemma. That
Wow. Yeah.
I think we need some reinforcements and some.
That's true, because I think this is something people can relate to. Even for me, to be honest, if I was in your shoes, I also don't know what I'd do. I think I'd just go.
Yeah,
Even if I
same.
have no money.
Just be in debt. It's okay.
Yeah. But you know what? We are not going to tackle this, what do you say, dire dilemma
Yes.
by ourselves today. We actually have a special guest that we've brought onto the show, specifically, yes, to help us with this very specific problem.
Yes, correct.
Yes. And who is our guest, Pris?
It's Johnathan from GRVTY Media.
Hello.
Hi. Yes, he just materialized out of nowhere.
That's right. Summon him with my dilemma.
Very interesting monologue.
Yes.
Not really.
Yeah, so we have Johnathan on the show with us today. Thanks for coming down all the way.
Happy to
Yeah.
be here. Very
Yeah.
happy to be
Specifically
here.
just to solve my problem, obviously.
Yeah, because Pris, she has
Right,
a lot of
big shot.
issues. Yeah. So
Thank
every time she
you.
has a problem, we're going to bring on a special guest onto our podcast. So this is what you should expect, people.
And you're lucky because I have a lot of problems.
So I guess to start off, before we get back into this whole thing about being paiseh with our money, maybe John, for audience members who might not know you, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So hello everyone, I'm John. I run this little company called GRVTY Media where there's a few digital media brands. But I think people know me for being the guy on the Real Talk couch where we speak more than we are supposed to, I guess. So thank you for having me. I'm very happy to be here.
Paiseh, I don't say that kind of thing. It made me feel very paiseh.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
Pris, you watch Real Talk, right?
Yeah.
I think you watch more than me, so I think you will
Yeah.
have a better grasp of
Yeah.
what that's about.
I like it. Yeah.
Very brief, thank you. Yeah, so that's John, everyone. So today we're going to talk about, well, basically what we've already just mentioned, which is Pris being very paiseh with her money. And I think when it comes to dealing with, personal finance, our money, it can be quite intimidating, especially when it comes to these social situations, right, Pris?
Yep, definitely. So maybe John, you have more insight to this since you're older. And then
Not that
and
Not
you have
that much older.
More like life experiences. Actually, how old are you? I forgot.
I'm 30.
Yeah, older what?
How much older? How old are you?
I'm 26 and then
Oh,
Sope
okay
is
lah,
25.
I was about to be. You should have said my age. I was about to be like, I'm
overlapped in like
22.
secondary school or primary school, please.
Laps.
Yeah, lah. So not that much older, but you know what? 5 years is.
Yeah, you can go
No,
through a
but
lot in 5
I
years.
understand what you mean though by being paiseh with money. I used to have that problem also. Until I realized I actually have a couple of friends that just really don't care. They just, sorry guys, y'all go ahead, I got no money. And they don't care, they don't feel anything about it. Then I'm like, how come I'm the only one that feels so paiseh about this?
Yeah.
I'm getting myself
I
in
get
debt,
that. I get
just
that.
trying to keep up for nothing.
Yeah. Sometimes you feel like, I mean, for me, I feel like sometimes I don't have a choice. I can't say, no, I don't want, because everyone has voted to go for this particular outing or, you know?
But it's empowering though, right? Once you allow yourself to do that and like just admit that, I cannot afford. Then
Yeah.
it's such a powerful
That's
feeling,
true,
like which I got so late in life.
Yeah.
later than hoped.
And it doesn't actually ruin anything, right? When you say no.
Yeah, it doesn't. I guess if your friends value your company a bit more, then they might change plan or they like.
Yeah.
In fact, it usually just takes one or two to say something like this. And then the entire clique would scale down an event because actually a lot of people are also feeling the pinch already. But yet nobody wants to say, so they just keep going.
They don't want to be the first one to
then
say
you just be the
lah.
first guy to say, wow, damn expensive, I cannot. Right?
Yeah.
Or the worst thing is like when you're already at a dinner and then they want, hey, y'all guys want to buy this to share or not? Fuck,
Yeah,
I don't
no,
want-
you want, you just buy lah.
I don't want to spend $20 on garlic bread lah. Fuck.
So I had a problem when I was like in my mid-20s. I was very lucky. Like I started out my career in management position. So the company was really, really fun to work with, but it's still a very youngish company. So obviously the pay was not great, but it was not terrible lah, you know. But because I started at management, right, and I had like a team, a very young team of people that works with me that I'm responsible for. So throughout the whole journey, my pay was not great, but I had to finance like their birthday dinners, you know, or if like you mentioned earlier, if somebody say you want to share that garlic bread, I kind of need to be, I feel responsible to need to say, yes, let's buy that $20 garlic bread if you want, I share with you. Because I kind of know that I'm paid a little bit more, but not by much also. Yeah, you don't want to kind of leave them hanging. So because of all that, I think in my early 20s, and I think ego lah, or inability to say no and admit poverty, right, that I just kept going. Like when they go for parties, and which I joined this company, which is quite fun. Like everyone party a lot, and I never party one. My whole life I never party one, until I joined this company. Then I started partying almost every week. Yeah, then
Exploded
Correct.
Exploded.
I treat it as like not doing it in my teens, so like I make up for lost time.
Yes.
I don't know what I was making up for actually, but because of that, then I was one of the management team, right? So like every time they open a bottle, I feel very obliged to share also. And do until I got like into jialat credit card debt. I mean, it's not jialat lah on hindsight now I look back. But back then when your salary was not very high, I got into like $7,000-8,000 in debt. Which which to me is like almost 3 times my entire salary back then lah.
Yeah.
And then it can like quickly snowball into even bigger, right?
Because of the
Yeah.
interest rates on whatever you owe.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
after they deduct CPF, then you deduct what you need to in life, like your insurance or your expenses to transport to work as well. Then after that, you realize you can only afford 200-300 repayment a month.
It's like
Then when the
barely
interest
making a
bam
dent.
come in, you don't see that number reduce at all. You feel like you pay half a year, how come still $7,000, you know? Then damn sian. And I went through like a meltdown of sorts there. Like I got very guilty because like my wife and I we BTO'd while I was in NS, I think. So and that's the reason I didn't go to a local uni as well. Because it's gonna take 4 years, and I know by the time I graduate, right, my house will be ready. I need to pay for the house. I need to pay for like marriage as well.
Yeah.
So there was this guilt that I was carrying, this debt that I didn't really tell my then girlfriend about. So one day but she's quite financially savvy. Like at least
Okay.
back then I thought she was very financially savvy.
Why back then only?
Back then, because I'm like
Recently
overtaking
now.
her already. I realized like what the hell are you doing?
Spicy.
Yeah.
So I call out.
Yeah, so then I realized like I'm holding on to this debt, right? So I just told her about it, and I don't know why there's tremendous shame in telling her. I don't know whether I broke down or what I felt like I did. And then I told her about this thing and I don't know how to pay anymore. And then she like, okay, can. And she just took it so well, she wrote down the amount I owe, and then she just planned, I'll take a balance transfer from this credit card, that credit card.
Wow.
Every month you transfer me $400 or $500, and then we'll just settle from there.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was how
Champion,
she
yeah.
took care of me, like, because she started working way before me, so she had strong credit history all the way. For me, I had, my credit history started with this stupid thing, right? I got an 18-year-old or 16-year-old, like those credit card, the limit $500 only. And
baby credit card.
it's like if you have no income, you also can get one.
Yeah.
And I thought I stopped spending on it already, but I just gotta keep it there lah, because there are no annual fees because this is like credit card light, right?
Yeah.
So I just thought I kept it there, especially because it was a Citibank card lah, and
Right.
Citibank you can go into Zouk for free. so
that was the
so
main
I just
point.
kept it
I see.
around.
Okay.
And then what I didn't realize was that I think it was back then Uber was still available, and I booked my Uber ride. I didn't unlink that card. And it was just one Uber, because you can link multiple cards, right? So
Yes.
you just try not to
Yes.
link that card. I think I accidentally linked one card for like a $20 ride, and it just stayed there in the account, and the interest rolled on it. I mean, the interest was not jialat on $30 lah, but the late fees kept slapping on and on and on. But I didn't realize I owe, right? And back then I was not very savvy. Like I didn't, like I only had the iBanking access to my main bank accounts.
Right.
Like the credit card stuff, I normally I don't even log in back then.
Right.
Like,
Did
so
they
I-
not give like paper statements in the mail?
They did. But,
Then what happened?
but back then you live with your parents, right? So like that's not very important one, I didn't really care. Sometimes I open, sometimes I don't open. I just know that I owe that money, and I mean I didn't know I owe that money until one day they emailed me or called me to say I need to pay because I'm late for such and such. So I negotiated with them. I said I'm gonna pay everything now. Can y'all waive my late fees? And they said okay. Then I said then I want to cancel that card. So I thought everything was okay. And then I checked my credit rating. Right, it was like HH, which is
that's the
lowest
lowest
possible.
Yes.
Oh my god, what's
Because
my credit
of
rating?
a $30
I don't know what's my credit
that I
rating.
didn't know I spent. So that like started my inability to pay off a $7,000, $8,000 debt because I couldn't even get a credit card anymore. On my credit card, they give me right, it's like those shitty credit one, like very lame.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even get on top of that debt, and that's when my wife came in and she literally built me out lah.
Yeah.
And that was the time I told myself never again.
Right. Wow.
But this was like before you joined that company, and then you started to like spend more on other people, or is this like around the same period?
Around the same period. My family is like the way I'm brought up, right? My parents are very giving, very generous, and it doesn't matter whether their business is good or not good, and they are always giving and generous. And I always had that feeling, like growing up, I got that quality for the better or for the worse, right? In which, okay, lor, just do it, lor. Yeah. So.
I think it's a double-edged sword lah. I mean, it's good to be generous, but then when it comes to a point where you don't know how to say no, or you feel like you can't say no, then that's a bit of a gotta stop and think for a while.
And that really set me back, It's not just the $7,000 that I was behind. It's the fact that after I knew about investments and all that stuff, right, I couldn't throw this extra $400 that I'm using, like to repay this debt into investments.
Yeah.
I'm using it to repay something years ago. The alcohol that I already drink, pee and shit already, that I'm paying for it a few years later, leh.
Yeah.
And it's not like you bought the whole bottle. It's not like you
Yeah.
drink the whole bottle. Or like,
I
I'm
cannot
very sure
drink
you
one I drink 2 cups only. I stand there.
2 cups
cannot
leading
drink
to
one.
You probably
400 a
paid
month
for
to
5
repay.
cups, and then you
Yeah, I
only
probably
drank
paid for
2
a
cups.
lot more actually.
wow, totally not worth it. In hindsight lah, in hindsight.
In hindsight.
hindsight
No
is
lah, I
always
guess I had to
everything.
do what I had to do also. I mean,
Yeah.
I wish I didn't have such a big head and feel responsible for everybody also lah, to be honest.
That sense of responsibility. So you mentioned your parents being very generous people. Did it have anything to do with like how you were raised? Is that why you become very like, I guess, nurturing towards the people you that were under you?
I would like to think I am. I don't know whether I am. Sometimes I feel like maybe I'm not. But yeah, I think with my parents, right, there was one time my parents, because they do their own business and there's a lot of swings, right? But they were not business trained. And so there were times in my childhood where they were just very rich.
Yep.
And there were times where we were just very poor. We don't know why also. Like, I don't know why. I was very, very young. And my sister told me this story that one day my parents picked her up from school and she asked, and my parents said, like, asked her, do you want to eat? And she said, yeah, I want to eat like Happy Meal lah. I want to go McDonald's and eat Happy Meal. And so my parents actually looked in their pocket and said, okay, let's go. And then they brought her to McDonald's and only she ordered. And she asked them why you're not eating. They say, we've eaten already.
Oh my
So
god.
a few months later, she realized that was like their last $5. Yeah, and they would not share their financial burden with you.
Right.
So my sisters and I grew up very, very careful because you don't know if you ask for $2 or $10, right? If it's their last one, they'll give it to you like it's nothing, and then they'll worry about it later. Yeah, so we grew up not knowing whether we could afford things that we already own. And I don't blame them at all. I think it's a really act of love, and I think they were not like financially educated enough as well.
Yeah.
But personally, would you have rather they be very open with you and to share all these so-called financial burden on you so that you'll be at least more aware and not have to second guess yourself, like, can we actually even afford this?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, but that's all in hindsight lah.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
I had a great childhood. I don't remember like even the hard times, right? I don't remember particularly suffering. I just feel like I felt a unity. Like those were my memories. I felt like my family coming together to overcome things. Nothing was truly like hard in my childhood. So I don't know if my parents shared with me, maybe my childhood would be very stressful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
feel like
I mean, obviously, I also wish that they knew a bit better. But I think a lot of good came out from it also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even though they were like Paiseh, so to speak, they did shelter you guys pretty well. Brought you up good. So
Yeah.
So
Pros and cons.
now that leaves me with this, right? That I need to make sure they can afford to retire, and I need to make sure that I can support my wife in whatever like she wants to do as well. So
have you tried to help your parents financially plan for their retirement, or is it like a...
I have many times, but they're not as receptive as that. So right now the game plan is that I will try and get rich so that I will buy them into retirement.
Step 1, get rich.
That was what I was gonna say. Or is it like a you're gonna help them retire kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean I structured some of their debt like some years back. I mean everyone's okay now. We're not rich or anything. But we are not like in a lot of debt or whatever.
That's good. I think not only is it like a financial burden, but I think it's quite a huge mental burden as well, right?
Yeah, like you don't sleep. You find it very hard to think about how much you have in a few months' time as well. Yeah,
Right,
definitely.
And the motivation for saving also not there, because you know you got debt that's piling up. Yet you want to have some savings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
you
feel
know
like,
the
what's
smart
the
thing to do is to empty this and pay back your debt because the interest is crazy. Yeah, so then that makes you don't want to pay that makes you don't want to start saving money, makes you cannot invest.
Yeah.
Wow, very painful.
Yeah, like you feel like your hands are tied because of this like financial obligations and stuff.
Yeah, and I dealt with this for a long time, or like 3 years, 4 years maybe.
Oh, it's a long time.
Wow, you never sleep for 4 years,
You never sleep well lah. Like
Oh my
money
gosh.
became very hard to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, even for my
Yeah.
wife and I, she also got into some early debt in like her late 20s. It was not huge also. It's like, but thank goodness I was doing better, so I could like offer to pay it off, but she don't want.
Right.
Yeah, she rather structure it, but she knows that if need be, like she can lean on me lor. So at least like that's a very powerful feeling, you know.
Security.
Yeah.
Oh,
it is.
It's a strong feeling. Yeah.
Wait, I want to ask you a question, right? So if let's say you met your past self and like your credit card debt past self, and then would you want to date your past self?
Even if what kind of question? So many things at play here. And do I like men?
I mean, let's
okay,
just assume you're open to everything.
Like a role reversal. Let's say like your then girlfriend, you found out that she had so much credit card debt.
Oh, I don't know. Probably not. I think.
Scary, right?
Yeah.
Because like having credit card debt, like could mean discipline problems. It could mean like impulse buying issues.
Yeah, exactly.
It could mean so many things, and you don't want to risk derailing your own like financial growth for someone else.
Yeah,
Especially if you don't love that person yet.
Yeah.
But like in love, very bo pian lah.
At this point.
Wow, romantic,
like
yeah. Oh my god.
I mean, we've come this far. Let's continue. Yeah.
So actually, at that time when you first realized, oh shit, I'm in debt and I can't pay off immediately, then you straight away told your girlfriend, or like
No,
was it a
you mentioned
straight away.
you mentioned it was hard
I
for
was
you to
in
talk about.
denial
Right?
for a very, very long time because it felt. I mean, obviously, it all starts from $10, $50, $100. So you always feel like one paycheck can cover, one paycheck can cover. until it wasn't. Until I felt really, really scared. Until it was at the limit. And back then my credit limit not a lot, so but like probably 3.5k per credit card. I got 2. Yeah,
Wow,
so that
got 2 some more,
so when I say 7k, I mean I maxed out my credit limit, right? Until it was then that I realized this thing gonna go out, and then my card limit is gonna be full, and then there's probably a new bracket of charges of when it's full and they cannot give you any more interest, right?
Yeah.
That was only then I called for help.
Wow.
Because I don't want her to worry also, you know. Like I always,
Yeah.
the dream obviously is that I get some windfall of sorts lah. A company give me a bonus or what, right? Then I just clear it as though it never happened. But it never came.
And it doesn't usually work out like that all the time.
It never works out like that.
Yeah.
That one
Yeah
is in our
lah. We can
hearing.
dream lah, but I don't. Yeah.
You get GST voucher also, you can't even make a dent.
What lah? Just go spend it on something else. Honestly.
This is like this feeling of hopelessness of like, like even if I try to pay it off now, it will never go down.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, based on this whole experience, did that scare you off from credit cards, or do you still use credit cards today?
That scared me off a bit, I'll be honest. Like that happened twice actually. But the second time was a bit more manageable lah, cause like I think I was making a bit more money, so it's like easier to structure my own shit.
Yep.
But then after that, after I cleared off the second time, I told myself not to use credit card anymore. Like I kept the credit card. I make sure I know my iBanking PIN and set my bloody
The
fingerprint
basics.
inside so that I know I can see it whenever I want to see it. I'll still
Yeah.
see it. Every month I will log in just to see that 0 there, just double confirm. Then I stopped using credit card for a long time. I told myself that points, that miles is not worth it because I got myself in shit like twice already.
Yeah.
And I know like I don't trust my own memory and my own like discipline.
Yeah.
But if you stop using it, won't your credit score like go down or like?
No.
Oh, it doesn't.
Yeah, I mean you have to use it a little bit for it to
Yeah.
recover lah.
Yeah, correct.
I think.
Yes.
But
Yes.
to me it didn't it didn't matter. Like I don't want to risk getting in debt yet.
Right.
Like again.
Yeah.
So I was very scared. Like I didn't use credit card maybe for a year until I slowly trusting myself again. Like until I had enough savings to one day if shit gets out of hand, right, then I'll pay it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was really good that you first have a cushion to make sure even if you make like the mistake of falling down that trap again, like you
Yeah.
don't I don't want to say this,
Just
say
say
it like
it.
that, but then it's like burdening yourself and burdening other people as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's why there's that whole feeling of like I can't talk about it. It's really hard to talk about.
Yeah, it's almost embarrassing,
It
right?
is lah. I think
It was quite.
It felt- it
would
must
be
have
very-
Like when I
A
tried
little
to
bit.
help my wife like deal with hers when she screwed up,
yeah.
she also didn't want to talk to me about it because I think she feel like I wear the financial pants in this relationship.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
So she didn't want to kind of show that, now you need to right my wrongs for me.
Yeah, like I don't actually
Yeah.
have my shit together.
So I remember holding her hand and then I telling her like, you remember when you built me out or not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that feeling was so powerful. Like I told myself like, oh my god, I married the correct one. So it's like, let me do it for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I think, to be honest, I feel like it's because money is such a personal thing to everyone. I mean, we call it personal finance for a reason. And it's very, very tied to our identity. I feel like, personally for me, how I handle my money or my ability to I kind of tie it very closely to who I am.
Yeah.
So like if I screw up, I get into debt or like I don't pay back my shit on time, then it's gonna be like I'm failing at life.
Yeah,
Right.
it's almost a reflection of yourself. Even like I would say it's quite common, even for myself, to tie my self-worth to how much I make or like how much I have in the bank.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think, it's definitely hard to sort like financial issues out in a relationship, especially if you're in debt or like got like some dark secrets. I don't
What dark secrets do you have, Pris?
like I paid for this when I shouldn't have bought this thing, and
I hope you don't tie yourself to your net worth though.
Yeah, I do sometimes because
Yeah.
it's like it's very hard to be in a like, let's say like my friend group, they're like earning so much more than me, so if let's say they want to go out, right, obviously they will naturally choose places that are a bit more expensive.
Yeah, I was gonna
So,
say it also
yeah.
affects that friend thing also.
Yeah, so when they choose someone more expensive, then I have to be like kind of the downer and be like, yeah, guys, I can't really afford this right now. So I think that ties back to my own like self-worth, like what standing do I have in this friend group almost. Yeah, does that make sense?
I guess you gotta develop that. Like, don't make it a big deal also.
Yeah.
Don't be like, guys, can I talk to you about something very seriously? No, I really
Everyone
cannot
sit down at the table.
I cannot keep up with what the hell you all are doing. Like, I think just like develop that skin to say, wow, sell so expensive, don't you all go ahead lah.
Yeah.
So aggressive.
Yeah, like no,
Just-
but
yeah.
make it, like talk about it. Just say your piece,
Yeah.
and then like don't make it a big deal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's
I
true.
mean, this is like my own self-talk lah. It's not like I'm like, guys, my confidence is so low every time.
Yeah.
Every time you ask to go to this place and I have to say no lah. I'm just gonna be like, sorry, I cannot buy.
Yeah,
Ah.
we have to normalize saying no, and this goes
Correct.
beyond money matters lah.
You know,
honestly.
I've been working on that a few years. Like,
Is
I
it?
don't care whether I'm meeting like entrepreneur friends or like like famous friends or whatnot. I'll be like, sell so expensive, don't wanna. Like, you know, like because they expect me to be able to
Right.
afford it,
Yeah,
right? But
yeah.
no matter whether you are able to afford it, I just don't want to spend this type of money, lah. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Because like $3 also 一餐, $20 also 一餐.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, lor, for
That's
what?
true lah. That's true.
Hey,
I
say
mean,
it together with us. Sell so expensive, don't want.
that's the key takeaway, everyone. Yeah, but I think it's true. I mean, this reminds me of something that we were talking about like last week or the week before that. You know how we were saying how when we talk about the word adulting, it is always tied to how you handle your finances. And it has become like almost like an identity of sorts that you have to match up to. But then if you don't, then crisis like then you can't even say no to friends, Pris.
Oh no. Okay. I'll think about this during my dilemma. Yeah. Thank you, John, for your insight.
We have solved we've solved one out of Pris's many problems.
Yes. Let's bring it back to what really matters here, which is my Paiseh problem. Okay, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, any advice on how to balance you as a generous person versus how much you can actually afford?
Yeah, because I feel like people do struggle with this. Like they don't, like you said, you don't want to be the downer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think people do relate to this problem lah.
Oh, then there's another problem of like, if I keep saying no, will they continue to jio me or not?
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
god, yes.
Yeah.
No, but then if you continue going, then you're just going to end up poor leh. Then do you want these friends or not?
Yeah. To be honest, if they can't accommodate, if you are not in a good place financially,
I mean,
Pris looks very stressed right now, by the
I'm
way.
stressed. Let's shift the focus back. Let's shift the focus.
You know, I want to say, right, I struggled with this for like many years. But I think one of the key things I learned, my takeaways of growing up all these years, right, is that don't be afraid to make decisions that you might lose friends for. Because it doesn't mean you make them your enemy, you see. It just means y'all don't hang out as much.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's very hard for me. Like, I always want to be wanted, you know what I mean? Yeah, until I realized that, no need lor, because every clique, every friendship comes at a cost, one. It could be your time, it could be energy, it could be draining you. And it's not lost on people, one, that every relationship is a deal of sorts. Somebody wants something from you. It can be time, it can be your resources, it can be your network.
Yeah.
It can just be you to make them laugh. It can be as innocent as that. But every relationship is a deal.
Transactional lah.
It's a transaction, correct. And it's what you're willing to give, right, to maintain such a relationship.
That's true.
I mean, I'm not saying look at all your friends as like a transaction, right?
I'm pulling up my
But
list
I
now.
get what you mean. Like, you hang out with this person for a reason. Like, oh, it's because he's a good listener. Or like,
Yeah, it could be as innocent as that. And many times it's as innocent as that, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but don't be afraid to make decisions whereby after that, maybe you'll lose some friends. I feel like as long as you can sleep, you can live with yourself.
Yeah.
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 Go according to your principles and don't fork out huge amounts of money where you don't have.
I want to give a shout out to this friend, right? Her name is Audrey Langy.
Oh, I follow
don't know
her on
whether you know her.
Instagram.
Yeah, okay. She was that one friend that was not afraid to say, guys, I cannot afford your go.
We stand.
We stand.
Yeah, and I
we
was like,
stand.
wow. You know, she's like, she was chill. You know, she's well liked.
Yeah.
And she like in the party scene, but she just don't mind. She don't care what you think about her. And I felt like, wow, that's damn liberating, eh.
We stand on not Paiseh queen.
That's right.
Mm.
That's how we aspire to be
yes.
at the end of this episode.
Yes. Okay. I will go back and then I'll be like, hey guys, too expensive lah. No,
Yeah.
sell too so expensive. Don't want it.
Do you want to write that down, Pris, in case you forget?
Sorry. I need to say it right.
Yeah. I think it's something to think about lah. Why can't we say no, and how do we get to the root of it? Because it's important to stick to our principles.
So moving on, thank you, John, for telling us your story.
Welcome, Pris, from letting me share my story.
So formal.
Yeah,
Hey,
you went there.
You all two don't Paiseh.
You went there.
Paiseh now, okay. Hey, good thing that our audience is Paiseh and submitted some questions just for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Aiyo.
So
How many do we have, Pris?
I have about 4.
Okay.
And one
4 only?
I mean,
4 that we've chosen.
Oh, okay.
You think we are here
Okay, so
the
sad.
whole day, is it?
Okay,
I mean,
You
Alright,
can
alright.
privately DM these people to answer their question if you so wish, okay? And then one from your dear wife.
Okay,
Yes.
lie.
Yeah.
all right.
Okay, we'll start with this question from this person. I'm not really sure how to pronounce this name, but it's called Deki. With a lot of eyes. Yes. Any tips for young guys that have interest in entrepreneurship? Hey, women don't have interest in entrepreneurship, is
Wow.
Oh, he
Dude.
asking for himself, what? Why you
Stepped on a landmine there, man. You're not. We recognize your username, by the way.
Yeah, so any advice
Wow.
for young men?
Yeah, let me try and give something that is
So bitter,
not
Pris.
generic. I think don't chase entrepreneurship, eh.
Oh,
What do you mean by chasing entrepreneurship or
Don't-
like glorifying
don't
is
start out
it?
your career thinking you want to be an entrepreneur. I think very importantly, entrepreneurs should solve a problem, or if a very good opportunity presents itself. But I don't think you should like kind of sit around and optimize for trying to start something new, because I don't think the world needs more and more companies. Yeah, I think there are many parts of the world that can just simply do better, until you find out that the system will not change unless someone else starts a company to change. Then I think that's when you know what you need to do. And it's a lot easier to keep focus. Because being an entrepreneur is not easy, right? When it's you and your co-founder or you and yourself, right? If you got a bit of savings, you can whatever for a while. And then you hire 1%, then you hire 2%, 3%, then become 5%. And suddenly every month, right, you got $20,000 worth of bills. It's just a very, very small team in your $1,000 office and like 3-4 man team, right? And then you start second guessing your business model. You don't know whether this is the problem you want to solve. You pivot here, pivot there, pivot here, pivot there. Not wrong to pivot, but then you don't know why we are all meeting at 9 a.m. in this office anymore. Like, what are we doing today, you know? You start thinking, what should I do?
oh
But
man.
when the problem you are trying to solve is clear, you at least know what to Google.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's a tip, I guess. Because in the course of running this business, I think there are times where you have to sell out, you know? You're doing things that is not necessarily what your company stands for, but you need to make rent. You need to make salary. So you continuously doing that, and sometimes you specialize in selling out, then boom, you become agency.
Yeah, it'd be true. I guess what you're trying to say is like, don't be an entrepreneur for the sake of being an entrepreneur.
I guess.
You have to be guided by
A purpose.
this thing you want to solve.
Yeah.
And like, be very truthful with yourself that like 80% of them don't make it past their first year. Right? So if you make it past the first year, you'll want to go on for 5 years, 10 years, then you might want to leave it for your children one day. And you don't want to be unsure of what the hell you're trying to solve here, or why do you exist.
Yeah.
Even GRVTY Media are also wondering sometimes, like, why do we exist? What world problem are we solving here
Right.
today?
Wow. So
Yeah.
existential. Yeah.
Like, what made you want to start GRVTY Media? And also, like, I'll take this question from, wow, y'all have really complicated names, yeah. Jivlakus. JVLA Marcus, like, you know, the Arcus in front at the end of Marcus, yeah.
Later people go and
Like,
search him
Sure.
up.
When did you decide you had enough to start your own company? So I will take this with why did you want to start GRVTY Media?
Right. So the answer to this question is actually very, very uninspiring one. I was working in a previous company. We dealt with like influencer marketing, and I have this I was also the MD of one of the subsidiary business whereby it's focused on video content production. That was when I decided that I want to, like, because of that credit debt, which is by no fault of the company, to be honest, it's just my own bloody, like, unable to say no tendencies, right? That I couldn't save enough, and the office environment, right, and the industry requires me to go and hang out, go and party, go and do this, go and do that. And face value very important, so you don't want to say. And the whole environment made me unable to save, unable to propose to my wife. So actually the real trigger came when I realized I need to buy a ring, and I don't know how to save money to get a ring for my wife. So I decided that I want to quit that company. They didn't do anything wrong, right? I just wanted a new environment. Hopefully, I mean, obviously hoping to be paid more so lah. Then that was when my current co-founder realized that I was leaving and said, do you want to join me and do this together? My partner is Jackie, and he founded Vulcan Post like 6-7 years ago. Yeah, or 8. Shit, I'm so sorry, man. Like a long time ago. Yeah, and so that was when he said, you want to start something together or not? You want to join me or not? So in fact, the agreement was, okay, I will join him. And then after a while, we expanded the business model. Yeah, and then became a whole new company. So very uninspiring lah, to be honest. It's not like I saved up $60,000 and then try and like raise another $20,000, you know, and bet it all at once. To be honest, it was a route of least resistance to me. And so I consider myself very lucky to be able to get this far, however far it is lah.
Earlier you were talking about entrepreneurship and like having a problem to solve in the world. So like what problem do you think GRVTY Media solves in the media industry in Singapore?
I don't think we are solving a societal problem, I'll be honest. Once again, it was a path of least resistance, right? My partner came in at a time whereby I said, if I don't like it, can I just quit? Then
100% commitment.
You come in, you run my sales and creatives for me. You start my video arm. We expand on many, many different brands, and that's when Millennials Singapore that happened, right? So the deal was this, right? After X amount of years, I would vest my shares, and then he would transfer some amount of shares to me. It did not actually materialize that way lah. But the point was that it was of least resistance for me. If I didn't like it, or if I didn't perform at that job, I could quit.
Right.
And then I wouldn't owe him anything because he haven't given me the shares, because by right I'm supposed to vest for a few years.
Right. So it's just like, why not? Why not try this kind of thing?
And then I tried to find that reason for existing, because I'm that kind of guy, right? And it was quite hard, to be honest. Like I tried to see whether Millennials Singapore could exist for helping people to tell stories, and that's what we tried to do. But in the grand scheme of things, the impact's very small, right? We've raised funds, we've provided awareness for mental illness or the LGBT community, but in the grand scheme of things, I don't think we've done much. So to be very honest, what I think keeps me going right now is that at least my decisions matter to the 30 people that's working in GRVTY Media. Like I'm starting there. Yeah. You know, because I came from a company whereby there were a lot of perks. Like I understood how fun work could be. There's a lot of things I didn't like. I mean, I hope the people working in GRVTY are okay lah. You know, I also don't know. Maybe deep down they're damn sian or what. It could totally be lah. But at least they don't have to deal with the stuff that I didn't like, because I made sure to cut that out as much as I could.
I guess like make the impact where you can.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right, cool.
Okay, we'll just move on to the next question.
Yeah, I think the next two are quite related to each other.
Yeah, your usernames are
X3.
You know, like last warning.
X3 Xiu Min.
And
okay.
then Hui Yu. I'm
These are
sorry.
spam accounts, is it?
No, they're real people.
They're real people.
Yeah.
Don't say
Anyway,
that
hello,
they're
thanks for asking me a
spams.
question. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, all right. Okay, maybe we'll go with X3 Xiu Min's question first. So she asks, how much did you save up before you got married? Wow.
Okay, so I did my marriage at the worst term. Like anybody with amount of financial literacy skills will just like slap me on.
What?
Yeah.
So okay, I tell you, I was in debt, right? Early point in my life, right?
Yeah.
In my early mid-20s, and then I was optimizing for my wedding. That's why I didn't go to a local U. After starting out the new business and finally stabilizing, I think maybe just got out of debt only. The house was due already.
Yeah.
So when the house was due, the wedding is due also.
Ooh.
And so
Yeah.
I couldn't even afford to, like, back then when we BTO, right, my wife got $18,000 in her CPF, right? I got like $160 eh. That was the disparity of our income at the time.
Wow. Yeah.
And I went into the house like unable to pay anything.
Okay.
Like even the wedding, I had like, I think I had $5,000 saved up or $6,000 saved up, and Pat had not much more. To be very honest, we were very we were at financial infancy at the time, but we didn't care. We just do. We
You
try.
had a
And,
lot of faith.
we had a lot of faith, really.
Really.
We just know that woman got
Meant to be.
got liao, got
Meant
liao,
to
you know?
Got liao.
We will
Got
make it back one,
substance.
we will
Came
make
on,
it
came
back
on.
one.
Yeah.
So we took loans. We took loans for our renovation. The wedding, right? One of the most important thing we needed to do. You know, everybody looking at like some face where the food nice or not. We were looking at, can you let me pay after I collect the hangpao instead of let me pay 5% upfront?
Right.
Yeah, I almost didn't want to do the wedding also, but it felt very important to Pat. So
Yeah.
like, okay, let's do it, you know.
Mm.
So yeah, so how much did I save? Almost nothing, and then really like insignificant amount, and I had to do renovation and
Yeah.
wedding expense at the same time.
Right.
Wow. How much was
Yeah.
your renovation and your wedding? If you don't mind sharing.
The wedding didn't break evens lah most of the time. So
Okay.
there's that. So you kind of just pay for your wedding gown package, photography package, that kind.
Mm.
Like in my opinion, that's all you should be paying for lah. Don't get like those photo booth for that. Nobody care one. Nobody's gonna take up that picture they took at your wedding and be like, oh yeah, that was good time. Nobody give a shit about your wedding.
You
Only
know,
yourself only.
You know, I went to this wedding, or like someone told me they went to this wedding where they, you know, as a wedding favor, they give out their photo, like the wedding photo
What?
of like the couple getting married. What are people gonna do? They're
Yeah,
gonna bring
so
home the
that's-
photo and
Put
look
it
at
next
it.
to my family picture.
Yeah.
That one time I went to this wedding.
Guys, don't
Yeah,
The
that's
best.
the amount of times your face have go into the dustbin lor.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
really close to nothing. And then we had like Pat just kind of signed credit card lor.
Mm.
Then we just make sure that we could repay. We do interest-free credit card stuff.
Yep.
And then we just structure our salary such that we can pay within 3 months, that kind of stuff.
I mean,
That was
at
how I
least-
financed my wedding and renovation. It's a bloody joke.
I mean, honestly, at least it's debt with a plan. You're not
Yeah,
blindly
even
going into it.
Semblance of a plan lah. To be honest, we never really think through. So
Okay lah, but it
Okay,
got you through.
Inspiring. I feel inspired.
don't feel empowered like this though.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
okay,
it was
okay.
very terrible, and that's how it kind of piled up for me. Like I thought my wedding was pretty fun, but only you think so, and nobody else care about your wedding once
Oh my
again.
god.
This is like real talk.
No, really. No matter how fun, like when is the last time you talk about somebody else's random wedding? Like don't have
That's
one.
true,
lah.
that's true. If I think
Actually,
back,
that's
But
true.
that person is wondering which gift you might like. Do you want a photo booth lah? In the pictures, do you want to look like a fairy? No one gives a shit what you look like.
Maybe I want to look like a fairy at my
Yeah,
friend's
lor, yeah,
wedding.
lor.
eh?
Yeah, but
Oh.
like
Very importantly, you own self song can already.
yeah.
Yeah, so when money comes into the picture and you don't have that much money, right? Then ask yourself, do you need to be that song or not?
Yeah,
if you
correct.
don't need to be that song, then don't gamble your financial future away on being that incremental
Yeah.
song.
Incremental
True.
song.
It's true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
lor.
true.
Okay, and then we have another question, right? That is
Yes.
like attached to this,
Yes,
which is also
from
very spicy.
会有
I tried.
Y'all
I
can
tried as
pronounce
well.
0 names. Eh.
我也晒啦. Okay. So the question is, how do you allocate your finances with your wife? A bit vague, but
Yeah.
Oh,
let's
okay.
just.
Oh, and this can lead up to your wife's question.
Very
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't.
What?
Okay, she's a
Explain.
working adult, right? So she makes like decent money as well. So I take the electrical bill, which is more expensive. She take the water bill, which always get GST rebate, by the way. We split the house half. We don't have joint savings.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, because I mean we tried at first. Then that was the wedding wiped out our joint savings, right? Then there are times whereby I push, she never push, she put, I never put. Then we fuck it lah. You save your side, I save my side. I want to see the money grow. There's no point because the more money you have in your high yield account, the more you yield.
Yes.
So there's no point I create another account, put less money there just for you to see. Because
That
she knows
is
that if she needs
true.
money, she can just ask me, what?
Mm.
Yeah, lor. So we don't. She has no idea how much I have also.
Do
Right.
Do you ever talk about it like before you got married, or was it just like a let's wing it kind of
No,
thing.
we talk about we will put $500 into our which is a lot lah, you know, back then when your salary is like you just hit 3 or like 3.5 that kind. But $500 is like a lot already, you know. Then after you realize 6 months later you reach your wedding, you got 6K, the whole wedding is like 40 grand. Then how? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like you really gotta start really young, really scale down. I don't know. I think there's some level of trust is involved. I guess
Definitely.
if Pat has to abandon her job to be with me or like whatever, right, I think she might want some assurance that we have a joint account. But
That's true.
we met since we were 15 though, so I think I'm just optimizing for more interest at this point.
Okay lah. I mean, as long as there's trust and then it's practical also and it works for both of you. I mean,
Yeah. No one can say anything.
exactly.
Like,
I think
I also don't pay for all her meals. I mean, increasingly,
what was that?
increasingly I'm paying for a little bit more, but like by default we split everything.
I think it just depends on what works for the couple lor.
Yeah.
I think what they're trying to ask is like for advice maybe for their own relationship.
I had a conversation with a friend and then they were saying you gotta train your husband. You need to ask him for ang pao. If you don't train, you just don't get ang pao. Like you have to ask him for ang pao during Chinese New Year, sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, so they say you need to train one. Yeah, and then they share tips about how to like make sure that number increases and all that stuff. And to me it's like, wow. I don't know whether you got sacrifice your kidney to marry him because you did it of your own free will.
Yeah.
So I can you need to train your husband to give you ang pao
On Chinese New Year.
on Chinese.
This is a thing?
Why does he need to give me ang pao? We need to give other people ang pao.
Exactly, right? So
Yeah.
I guess they do them lah. If that guy makes a lot of money, then sure lah, you know. Maybe he's a dick also, then whatever lor. That's how you do something.
I mean,
But I think marriage, you need to be a team, you know? Don't try and milk each other. I mean, it's
Yeah.
very easy to be idealistic now. I think slowly. Because, okay, I'll tell you what, yeah, I think you are partly right when you say money is really tied to your identity. Because whoever makes more
Has more
has
power.
executive control in a marriage.
yeah.
And you want to make
Definitely.
sure that, and sometimes the executive control limits your ability to earn. Yeah, and so in that regard, I guess you want to milk that guy that is milking you as well.
This is mutual consensual
Milking.
milking.
The 69 of milking.
Jesus.
Hey, don't bring Jesus into this, eh?
Okay, today I learned that there's a subset of wives out there who
Yeah.
are asking
Yeah.
their husbands for ang
I
paos.
thought it would be me and my husband against like $2.
Yeah,
and
that's
and the nephew that I've never
Then
seen
you all
in my life.
strategize together. This little nephew give how much? That niece give how much? Then
Yeah, exactly.
a
Then
whole new world.
if you give me money, I'm gonna have to give it away anyway.
yeah,
Yeah.
interesting.
Speaking about consensual milking, it really leads me perfectly into your wife's question. How much do you save and invest per month?
But that kind of reveals my salary to other people.
You can say percentages,
Can you count?
Yes, none of us here can do math.
Actually, I know it's actually very simple to count.
Then you think about your question.
No, I no, I was thinking, do I want to count after CPF deduction? So your net take home.
Oh, then just say it. Then just say
or
your
gross.
net take home.
Actually, according to gross, I save and invest about 25% of my salary.
You save and invest.
25%.
Do you have like a split of like how much you save and how much you invest?
I don't know. Okay, I tell you my strategy. Okay, when my salary comes in, I only allow myself to spend 1.2K a month. That includes food, presents.
Wait, should you be telling us like real numbers?
But we don't know
No,
how.
that's
That
better.
1.2K is what percentage of? We don't know.
Oh, okay.
So like that includes everything, right?
Okay.
My
Fixed
everyday
expenses,
expenses,
yeah.
including transport and all that stuff. I put everything else into a high yield account, and then everything else is gyroed from there. Even my investments, even my bills.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know how much my savings are growing actually. I think it's at a much slower rate because never really see like the 4-5 digit change a lot. But I know my investments are because I'm a bit more aggressive there.
Right.
Yeah.
So we actually heard about this investment strategy from our CEO, and then she actually has two funds. One is a fund to put into like bonds, like more safe investments,
Yeah.
and then one is for more aggressive investments.
Right.
Like, do you have any strategy when it comes to that, or do you just like just passive?
I passive. I dollar cost average. But I'd like to say I think I'm a bit more aggressive.
Right.
Because I have, like to me, the passive one, right, the safe one, right, is in my CPF. I try and top up as much as I can. I move my OA to my SA. And then I go buy the endowment for retirement. Well, to me, the investment now is like, I want to see that money on, you know? You tell me grow by 2%, 3%, like, don't want
Impatient,
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I also feel that way sometimes.
Yeah, so my all high risk one, like, I do those robo-advisor, right? I try to max out the risk as much as they allow me to.
Oh my god. I'm not sure whether this is advice that we want to
No,
give to
please
our
do not
our
take
listeners.
this. Please do not take this as investment advice.
Yeah, please
Huge
don't
disclaimer. Yeah.
But yeah, that is my investment strategy.
Interesting.
Maybe
We
should
are not
record
a
your
financial.
strategy.
We're not advisors, so this is for you to discern and just to bring home and research by yourself. Okay?
Yes.
Mandatory disclaimer.
Yes. It has to
Yeah.
be said.
Okay, pause. Speaking of strategy, do you have any advice for this 18-year-old student? I guess that you're 18 years old. Your
Waiter.
name is What do you say? So
Waiter.
well done. What can you do financially as an 18-year-old student? Like any advice for any students?
Right,
out
I guess
there?
that depends on whether you're working. But I would love to go back and tell my 18-year-old self that don't use the bank account your mother opened for you. Because that yields like 0.0 something. That it doesn't matter one, you know. No matter how many thousands you have inside, suddenly they give you $2, they're like, thanks. You know?
Yeah.
Get a high yield account, like I use DBS multiplier account, or you can go CBC 360 or UOB1. Start there, and then at least the returns are in dollars, so it's a little bit more encouraging. You don't get quick cut here, like few cent here, few cent there. And then really start squirreling your money away, because it really, really adds up. Like, you look at, like, dollar cost average your way, even if you cannot invest yet. I don't know what's the age limit. Get your parents to help. Get some safer ETFs or unit trusts. And then if you can start at 18, right, your 30-year-old self will thank you, because I've lived to 27 before I realized the last 7 years of income, right, my part-time jobs and all that stuff, I don't know what I spent on also.
Yes, you're saying me
Nothing was
too.
actually meaningful.
Me three.
Yeah, if you can screw away there and then you let your yield account just bring you 2%, your UT bring you 4%, I think when you are 30, right, you will have more money than 80% of your friends.
I wish I did that.
Yeah, same. Honestly, I had so many part-time jobs, right? I don't know what the hell I buy.
Yeah, lor.
Spend everything lah. I also don't know what I spend it on. But I never saved.
Yeah, correct, same.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So that's that. Change your bank account first, even if you cannot invest.
mm,
Go and yield at least 1-2% lah.
Yeah.
I think most important is to start your savings when you're young.
Oh, get into the habit, please.
Yeah.
Your ang pao money, while you're young and cute that time, your ang pao money a lot.
Oh my god,
Put
my ang pao
aside.
money.
When you're older, nobody care already. They give you $6.
Yeah, it's true. It diminishes as you go older.
Especially when your amma still alive, amma very generous.
That
Put
is
aside that money,
that's
with
true.
strong
That is very
returns.
true.
When
That's
amma
true.
go, nobody's gonna give you $100 anymore.
Oh my god. Treasure that $100, man.
I miss my grandma.
Okay, on
Alright.
that dark note. Okay, so to wrap it up, John, do you have any last words?
You sound like we're gonna dispose of him after this.
Yeah.
I think I spent a lot of my 20s like squandering whatever amount of money that I have. I really, really regret that. Like, I am like 2-3 years into getting my financial shit together, and I can already see the difference already. So I really, really wished I started at 25. So honestly, if you guys know who I am, I'm on Instagram. If you've got questions, I'll be happy to take your DMs.
Okay, so I guess that's it. Thanks, John, for
Thank you very
having
much
this
for
conversation
me.
with us.
It's fun.
It's very enlightening. And I hope, Pris, that you will now learn how to say no and stop being paiseh about
I
your
almost
money.
forgot about my
Yeah.
problem, eh.
You
Yeah.
need to normalize saying, "Wow, sell so expensive, cannot."
Yes.
Sell so expensive cannot.
Normalize it, guys. Make it a thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
make it a thing.
Hashtag sell so expensive cannot. Hashtag it and then tag John.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not a
that's
big deal.
right.
It's not a
That's
big
right.
deal.
Yeah.
No matter how much money you have in the bank, if you don't want to park with that kind of money, just say too expensive. Cool. Thank you very much for having me, guys. Bye bye.
That's a wrap on another episode of Keep It Simple. Leave us a review on any of our platforms and remember to subscribe to us for more episodes.
We publish every Friday because it's the best day of the week. So stay tuned and see you next time. Until then,